Hello everyone, in this video we're going to draw a corgi. Start by drawing a circle as a guide for the head. An easy way to draw the circle is to first make a couple of small marks to indicate the circle's length, and then on the sides make a couple more small marks to indicate the circle's width. Then just connect the marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. Sketch lightly at first so that it's easy to erase if you make a mistake. Also, pause the video as you follow along to draw at your own pace. The circle doesn't have to be perfect, but if you're having trouble drawing one, just trace the outer edge of a cup, a bowl, or anything else with a circular edge. Draw a curved horizontal line across the circle. This is a construction guide that will help you place the facial features. Place the line slightly higher than the center. On the top left side, draw a curved vertical line for another construction guide. Draw two small circles inside the head as guides for the eyes. Place the eyes on top of the horizontal construction guide and on either side of the vertical guide. The eyes should be pretty small in relation to the head. Draw a big oval on the bottom half of the head as a guide for the muzzle. Use the 4 marks method from before to draw this oval too. First, make a few small marks to indicate the sides of the oval. Then connect the marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the oval. Make sure that the marks for the width of the oval are farther apart than the marks for the length. Notice how a small portion of the oval on the left side is outside of the head circle. Below the oval, make a small mark for the lower jaw. Connect the small mark to the oval using curved lines to finish the guide for the lower jaw. This guide should be a bit similar to the letter V. Inside the big oval, draw a smaller oval as a guide for the nose. The nose should touch the left edge of the muzzle. Make the nose pretty big in relation to the muzzle. Above the head and to the right, make a small mark for the first part of the ear. Connect the small mark to the head using curved lines to create an arc and the guide for the ear. Corgis have big ears, so make sure that the guide is big in relation to the head. On the left side, draw another arc as a guide for the other ear. Draw the ears roughly the same size. Make sure that the tips of the ears tilt outward. And that's it for the guidelines. Now let's start on the final drawing. Use the small circle that's inside the head on the right side as a guide to draw the eye. Draw the shape of the eye along the path of the circle. The top of the eye should slope down so that it forms a pointy corner on the right side. Make the bottom of the eye flatter than the circle. On the left side, draw a small shape for the inner corner of the eye. Draw a couple of curved lines around the eye for the bare skin. Keep these lines close to the shape of the eye. Use the circle to the left as a guide to draw the other eye. Make the shape of the eye a bit more angled than the circle. Draw the shape of the eye along the circle. This eye should be a bit smaller because the head is turned. Add a couple of lines around the eye for the bare skin. Inside each eye, draw a tiny circle for a highlight. In the middle of each eye, draw a bigger circle and shade them in for the pupils. Don't overlap the tiny highlight circles as you shade the pupils. Use the small oval inside the muzzle as a guide to draw the nose. Darken the edges of the oval to create the basic shape of the nose. Curve the left edge of the oval inward to create the nostril. On the right side, draw a longer curved line for the other nostril. The nostril's opening is basically a small arc. Draw a short line across the middle of the nose for a crease. Darken the lower edge of the nose and make the bottom pointy. Under the nose, draw a line that curves to the right for the top part of the open mouth. Follow the path of the initial oval as you draw the line. Extend the line farther to the right than the guide and curve it downward. On the left side, draw a shorter curved line for the other side of the mouth. Curve the line up toward the nose. Draw a sloping line from the nose to the eye on the left for the top part of the muzzle. Under the mouth, draw a long curved shape for the tongue. The shape of the tongue should be similar to the letter U. Extend the bottom of the tongue to the initial guide. Draw a short line on the top part of the tongue for a crease. Now draw a sloping line to the right of the tongue for the bottom part of the open mouth. Connect this line on the right side to the top of the mouth. Add a line at the bottom for the lower lip. Inside the open mouth, draw a wavy line for the gums. Above the gums, draw small triangular shapes for the teeth. Make the shape small so that they fit inside the mouth. Draw a couple of curved lines for creases on the gums. Draw another sloping line below the mouth for the lower jaw. Follow the path of the open mouth as you draw this line. Now use the arc on the top right side of the head as a guide to draw the first ear. Darken the basic shape of the arc. Add a few curved lines on the bottom right side to give the ear structure. Draw a series of short strokes within the shape of the arc for the fur that's inside the ear. Extend the fur below the ear too. Use the arc on the left as a guide to draw the other ear the same way. Darken the shape of the arc and add a couple of curved lines on the bottom left side for structure. Draw a few short strokes within the arc for the fur that's inside the ear. Use the main circle as a guide to draw the rest of the head. Follow the path of the initial circle to draw the rest of the head. Use a series of short strokes as you draw the head to create a furry texture. Curve the line inward on the left side to make the shape of the head thinner. Draw the bottom of the head along the basic path of the guides. Add a few more short strokes within the shape of the head to emphasize the furry texture. Now erase the initial guidelines. The next few steps are sped up so that the video isn't too long. You don't have to erase all of the guidelines. It's okay if you leave some behind. Redraw any of the final lines that you may have accidentally erased. Now shade your drawing. Use a dark value inside the ears for shadows. Shade lightly at first and gradually build up to darker values. To create light values, push down very lightly on your pencil. And for darker values, push down slightly harder on your pencil. For a classic corgi look, shade the top of the head using a darker value. As you shade, use strokes that go in the direction of the fur. The fur mainly radiates outward from the nose. Use a dark value to shade the nose and nostrils. Use a lighter value on the top part of the nose to create a highlight. Shade the insides of the eyes using a medium value. Don't overlap the tiny highlight circles as you shade the eyes. Make the edges of the eyes thick and dark. Leave a few sections above the eyes blank for the white fur. Add a medium value to the front of the muzzle. Draw rows of dots on the muzzle for the basis of the whiskers. Shade the inside of the gums and mouth using a dark value. Shade the tongue using a medium value. Add a darker value to the top of the tongue for a shadow. As you shade, separate each stroke a bit so that the white of the paper comes through and creates a furrier texture. Darken the final lines to emphasize the shapes. Shading can be time-consuming, so be patient and take breaks. Keep shading until you're happy with the result, and that's it for the corgi. Don't forget to pause the video to draw at your own pace. Also, please visit howtodrawanimals.com, where every step of this tutorial is broken down into an individual image. That's how, and then the number 2, then drawanimals.com. If you'd like to support my channel, please consider buying my books on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe for more videos in the future. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep drawing.